All right, guys, we're going to get into this embarrassing clip of Brandon Titties interviewing Benjamin Netanyahu, the convicted war criminal. And he confronts Netanyahu for the first time about the treatment of Christians in Israel, because as we know, all three churches that were in Gaza have been bombed and desecrated. So there's this, obviously that caused a lot of outrage because apparently there's this Judeo-Christian companionship alliance that, you know, they always tout, and then you look at what's going on in Gaza, and they wiped out three churches and massacred Christian families. So let's get into this clip, man.
Of Christians in Israel aren't as good. And so can you speak to that, Prime Minister, about how Christians live in Israel? Are they accepted in Israel? Are they treated fairly in Israel?
Well, first of all, this is the birthplace of Christianity. You know, in all these sites, people could walk and do walk in the footsteps of Jesus. Christians are not merely tolerated in Israel. They're welcomed as a treasure of our common Judeo-Christian heritage. And Israel is the only place in the Middle East where Christians are safe, because throughout the Middle East, churches are bombed, Christians are killed, as happened in Syria, murdered mercilessly, and elsewhere. And in Israel, we are
not true
brothers. If you actually talk to the majority of Christians, talk to them, you'll see what they say. They say Israel is the only place where we're respected and protected.
And I can attest to that as a Christian who went to Israel. I spent 2 weeks there with the church, and we had an incredible time. We had only one incident where a small child spit on one of the pastors, and immediately after, there was an adult that came by and said, "That's not a representation of who we are. You know, we love you guys. You guys are always welcome here." And I have to say, no adults gave us any grief. We had no issues whatsoever. And our experience there, it was actually an amazing experience. It actually changed the way I thought about Israel, and I fell in love with Israel when I came there. And I think a lot of that is a testament to how Christians are actually treated, not what the naysayers say.
Anyways, man, so that's obviously far from the truth, right? And we're going to get into some examples here, but it's not very far-fetched for a dude like this guy, Brandon Titties, who has, like, some of the worst political takes, to be honest with you guys. I mean, this guy literally made a career by savagely dick riding Donald Trump, and he just misses the ball every single time. So it's really not a big surprise that he actually interviewed Netanyahu, and he's actually bamboozled or manipulated into thinking that Netanyahu is really telling him the truth, which is it's unreal. Anyway, so let's get into the actual evidence here. So obviously we know that there's three official churches in Gaza. There's the St. Porphyrius Church, which was struck October 19th of 2023. So that was actually struck a few days after October 7th. So they went and got rid of that early. So they're making it clear, like, Muslim or Christian, if you're not as Jewish, you know, we're taking you out. Then we had the Al-Ahli Baptist Church, October 17th of 2023, which resulted in 500 deaths. Okay, and then we had the Holy Family Catholic Church, which was, so apparently they shot a mother and daughter because, you know, a lot of the, you know, what the majority of their military campaigns is deliberately targeting women and children as much as possible. That's like literally that's their strategy to taking out Hamas. And then July 17th of 2025, they shelled 3 civilians, and I believe it totally destroyed it that same day in July. They totally destroyed the Holy Family Catholic Church, which the Pope actually, you know, he went off on them. He's like, wow, you guys just demolished all 3 churches in Gaza that were... you know, the religious and cultural sites, which is a very small community in Gaza, by the way, which has lived in peace with, you know, the Muslims for the longest time. You could go and speak to several Christian Palestinians and they'll tell you the truth, right? So as Christians in most areas in the Middle East have pretty much lived in peace. You do have some Christian Zionists in Lebanon and those places, but that's a whole other story. Anyways, let's take a look at some footage because this guy's saying that Christians are welcomed and they're the treasure, and it's really the bad Muslims, and there's the Judeo-Christian Alliance, and so this is just this is from actually they bombed a 2,000-year-old church. So this is actually a Christian individual who called him out on it. He saw it firsthand because he was there. 385 Christians were sheltering at the church.
كلمونا قالوا لنا لازم تطلع على الجنوب، لازم تطلع على الجنوب، لازم تطلع على الجنوب، قلنا ما بدناش نطلع من غزه، بدنا نموت بغزه، موتونا بغزه، نزلوا صاروخ مباشره طابق المبنى فيه 385 نفر، طابقين صار جاره تحت الارض، وفي الكنيسه الثانيه فيها 500 هالقد حتنزل ان شاء الله.
Yeah, so that was back in July. They massacred over 400 Christians along with the church. This is. Let's watch this. And this is apparently because they claim that they are the protectors of the Christians in Gaza and Palestine, that they're somehow oppressed by the Muslims there. And here's another video here. Yeah, so they just desecrated an entire church there, it looks like. Yeah, very, very sad situation. So, I mean, there's countless examples, and they obviously released the same statement. Oops, we didn't know, we were targeting Hamas next door, and then we accidentally hit the church, and we're sorry. We'll make it up. We'll hit another church in a couple months. So they play that game, and then you have like a dude like Brandon Tatum who's severely low IQ will just sit there and like, oh, okay, yeah, I believe that. So it's like, bro, I could go through the interview and start debunking like every point that this manipulative war criminal was saying, but we're gonna just leave it at that. I mean, we just already talked about how this guy was saying that, oh, they're a treasure in Israel, and then all of a sudden, here's another video here of looks like they're blocking Christians from oh, by the way, this is in Israel.
بأعياد دينية قوات الاحتلال تمنع أحد من الفلسطينيين أو الأجانب من الدخول. نفس المشهد نراه منذ بداية أحداث.
Okay, so this is so it looks like they are blocking them from going to pray at the church. So again, man, we can, like I said, we can go through all these points and start debunking all this stuff, but this is just a formidable example, multitudes of different examples of where what he just said is just not true, right? Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Go hit that dislike button on Brandon Titty's video with Netanyahu. Do me a favor and go do that.